Welcome to another episode of Young, Not Dumb, Not Broke podcast, and we are your hosts, Stephen Corner, the mortgage man from Glass Financial.
Joshua Mason, Choir Dining and CO Wines. How are we?
I'm great, mate. How are you?
Yeah, really well.
Awesome. Today we have our guest on, Richie Tomlinson. He's one of the directors of SEO Premier, a digital marketing agency with offices in 3 countries and well-renowned clients such as Manchester Football Club, Mark Boris, and Oxford University. Welcome, Richie.
Fellas, how are we doing?
Okay.
I'm well, mate.
Really well.
How are you?
Thanks for
I'm
coming
very
in,
good.
mate.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Heard great things.
Good.
Been following
Hope so.
the journey.
Yes.
So,
Very
mate,
good.
tell us a little bit more about what you do, because I don't think there's a lot of people out there who really understand what SEO means and what does it entail.
Yeah, so that's sort of something that we hear a lot, is that like people don't really know what SEO is, or they think it's some sort of black magic that people, in dungeons somewhere are doing, and no one really knows what's going on. But essentially, SEO is, as it stands, search engine optimization, optimizing for search engines, right? So it's making sure that a website ranks well on Google so that people can find it. If you think Google itself is a business, their business model is wanting people to come back there, just like everyone's business is. You want return customers. That's SEO is all about making sure that a website is as relevant as possible for its target audience. So it's not necessarily about having the biggest website or the most amount of website visits to have to be at the top. It's about making sure that if people are making a search, that your website has the most relevant information that's going to be the best for the person who's visiting the website, so that they come back and use Google again. The reason I sort of use Google, and we'll focus on that in terms of search engine optimization. Obviously, there's other search engines out there, but Google is still absolute king in that sense. It has still about 95% market share, and that's where everyone goes if they're looking to find stuff.
Yeah, if you meet anyone who uses Bing, like, you shouldn't be friends with them.
That's suspicious.
Screw them.
Yeah, they're trying to get up there now. They're doing some interesting stuff. But,
really?
Yeah, they're looking to incorporate, Chat GPT, that new AI thing. Have you heard about that?
No, I haven't.
You have?
Yeah.
Where it's
Well, I'm stuck in kitchens half the day, mate.
Yeah,
so
right. All right, well-
all you techie guys do your techie thing, and
Pretty
I'll
cool,
just try
mate.
to work out
Yeah,
what the new breed of
You
beef
should.
is.
I'll get
it's-
Richie to explain. He'll explain it better than I can.
Yeah,
but
okay.
mate,
Pretty
crazy.
I'll show you after. It's absolutely nuts.
it's a
Should
little
we,
scary.
can we wax up it on the screen
Yeah,
as
we
well?
can,
Yeah,
yeah.
there you go,
Yeah, yeah.
Brendo's. What's it called?
Brent.
So it's called Chat GPT.
GPT.
Yes.
Yes.
Don't ask me what GPT stands for. I don't know.
Sounds like a new country. Are they going to the Olympics?
It probably will be soon enough.
Do you know Brendan? Because Brendan, you showed me it anyway. Yeah. Do you know
Yeah.
what
So
it-
it's
All right. So what do they do?
Okay, so-
what's Google? What's their magic plan to what's happening in life next?
So what Bing's just done is they're going to incorporate Chat GPT into their search engine. If you think of it, like, have you seen? It was a while ago that people like search for random shit and it'll make a really cool story, a picture about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like you'll just
I think someone's cutting a piece of wood outside. So let's figure that out. How inconsiderate of them to renovate their.
you didn't tell them that I was. coming in,
Jeez.
obviously.
No.
Well, we did, but they just ignored the fact that you were
Rude.
here.
Rude.
So rude. But that's all right. Oh, assholes.
Anyway, so
Selfish.
Chat
Chat GBT.
Yeah. So so a while ago it was the big thing was people have had like these AI images of themselves produced in like
Yeah.
different scenarios, and then there were ones where you'd search for just some completely random thing. It'd be I don't know, an astronaut and a monkey on a roller coaster in space or something like that, and in 3 seconds it would generate an image of that in a really like true to life setting, and it would just do it like that. This is the next sort of big thing, and it's sort of like when you're making a search on a search engine, you might be just say something like 10 best restaurants in Sydney, for example, right? And it'll bring up different websites with different articles about them, or like a food reviewer who's gone out and done the research and put together a list of the
And
of the-
Qua's usually always at the top.
and it's always at the top.
It's always Qua. Which is,
number one. Yeah.
100%.
Exactly. So the difference with this is, instead of that, you would write something like, write me a blog on the top 10 restaurants in Sydney, and it will, in front of your eyes, write a 300-word article listing the top 10 restaurants. It'll write about each one, what they serve, and it'll write it in a really the way that it should be. You know how you read stuff that's written by bots and half of it just is rubbish. Like
Yeah.
it just doesn't make any sense. This is like it was written true to life, and you're reading it, and it looks like a reviewer's gone out and actually.
Yeah, it's incredible.
All right, so
Chat G.
So while
PT,
while
Chat
Brenda
GPT.
while
I was
Brenda's
saying
doing that,
BT.
how is Bing incorporating this?
So it's there's not a whole lot of information about it yet because
Yeah.
it hasn't fully come out. But how I can sort of see it happening is, the way that people are using search engines is typically, very simple. Best mortgage brokers near me, or accountants near me, or things like that. Whereas this will do something. You can. It's just like enhancing the experience by, people can say something like, where would be the best place to go and why would you recommend it? And it would say, this is this such and such place. Here are some reviews on this place. And it will formulate, rather than you going to a website to find out the information, it'll all just populate there, and it'll make, a landing page for you and show all the information that you need to know about whatever it is. So it's very much that next step in a virtual assistant.
Yeah, wow.
It's still very early days, but like this Chat GPT, there was a couple of things I've read about it. Recently, it passed the bar exam in the US to become a lawyer.
I saw that.
So they like just asked it all the questions that were in the law exam, and it passed it. There was another one where it was
It's apparently it's passed pretty much all entry exams to medical school, the SATs, everything.
Yeah, and this is a computer just working off machine learning and just by crunching all of the data that's on the internet, and it can just and it does it.
Summarizing.
Yeah, and just understands.
Here we go. Let's see.
Let's see what this
You
does.
spelt choir wrong, but that's fine.
It thinks the restaurant's called Haddon Hills.
Fucking. Yeah, right.
So you don't even have to.
QUOI. Try see what happens. Oh, okay.
No, so it's not at the moment. It's not pulling information from the internet. It's you ask it a question or ask it to do a task,
Yeah, right.
and then it responds.
Yeah. Dude,
No,
just
that's fine. That's
do another real quick one. Just write a blog on the 5 best restaurants in Sydney. So, like, obviously, you'd be reading lots of articles like this out there. The people, like food reviewers, are writing. Well, this is writing it in real time in front of you.
Yeah, right.
nuts. Hey,
Man, I wish I had this when I was at school.
Yeah. Well, that's the big discussion.
There
at
we
the moment,
go.
is,
So then,
Ki,
see, but this is
Tetsuya.
obviously linking from somewhere as well.
100%. You
it's-
got leading
but
restaurants.
this is all
there.
original content, though. This isn't just pulling from places that other. This is all original content.
But in terms
it's
of like,
paraphrasing and finding this information from other places.
that's what I mean. But if you got your Google rankings up through SEO or something,
Then-
then it would be pulling through onto
Correct.
here.
And that's where
They're
this,
all Portano. Yeah,
and,
we love Portano.
and that's where it sort of gets.
Juicy steaks.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of the discussion at the moment is around like, well, if this can just do that instantly, what's the point of journalism? What's the point of essays at school and things like that?
Correct.
Because this can just do it straight away. But I use that as an example because obviously this is a computer. This doesn't eat food. It doesn't know. It's not doing this based on. It's gone to a bunch of places and tried it and actually know what's the best. It's just pulling from other food reviews. It's finding other places that other people have written well about, and it's just picking it from that. And the sort of discussion then turns into, well, if it's doing this if this happens enough and then people who are food reviewers just want to make their job easier by just doing this, then eventually the whole internet is going to be made up of information that's just echoing other information and nothing's going to be original. And it's
Yeah,
going to
right.
get to that point.
Yeah.
So that's where it's sort of interesting at the moment, and the discussion around, well, like people at school with, if they just use this for essay writing, what's the point? Like, is this just not going to ruin English and history and stuff like
correct.
that? But I mean, the same thing happened years ago with calculators, didn't it? Like,
100%,
they didn't
yeah.
stop maths.
Yeah.
Like, it just changed, and that's what they're sort of doing.
Well,
at the moment.
I
Going
think-
off on a bit of a tangent, I know.
Well,
but
it
But I
You
think
know-
I can see positive and negative about this, but I think this potentially being accessible for young people these days who are still developing, all those learning points of their
Yeah.
brain. Like
Yeah.
this cuts out a big part of the development process.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate evolution of technology. Fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's always going to happen, and we can't change what these super nerds are doing. You know, in these places, because you know you have to have evolution.
Yep.
And these guys want to stay in front of the pack all the time, and this is another opportunity to do that.
Yep.
But what are we doing to our kids?
I know. Yeah.
We're destroying them.
And that's the thing. But
that's a bit of a boomer thing to say, though. You know,
Well,
that's happened over.
but no, but it's a good.
fucking them up.
I do agree, but that's our perception of fucking up.
But
right?
it's a good point. But think about 50 years ago, no one found out information on the internet. Everyone went to libraries, read books,
Correct.
did things that way. And now, that's not how you do it. You go online, you find your information there. It hasn't necessarily changed the way that it's just, I don't know. People have just, like you say, evolved, and this is the next stage.
Well, it's like
that.
a lot of jobs over time, right?
Yeah.
Like in the, I believe it's the late 1700s, 1800s. There was a group of people called I believe it's the Luddites, but you might have to check that, Brendan. But they're pretty much, everyone worked in textiles, so they were making garments by hand, right? They weren't using machines. Yeah. And then machines started being incorporated, and these people in England, in the UK, started rioting, right? They're like, our jobs are gone now. There are no jobs. And they were I think they were called the Luddites. And they were rioting. Like, it was a massive issue.
Yep.
But now, obviously, jobs shift to become more service-based rather than manufacturing-based.
That's
so
right.
then
Yeah.
someone like you, Richie, your job doesn't disappear. You then go,
This
how do I
makes it.
how do I leverage this?
That's right. How can I use this to improve the service that we're going to be providing our customers? Like, and that's what, you know, I'm by no means an expert in AI. I just find this really interesting stuff and how it's sort of shaping that next evolution of what we're going to be doing in terms of SEO, because search engines are going to change, and how people search for things is going to change, because you're not, you know, you can speak to this as if it's a person, and you're going to be, you know, you see like those futuristic videos where it's like, hey, can you work out my day, or tell me to do, like, we've already got assistants like Google Homes and Siri and stuff like that. But at the moment, it's still very much input based, where you're saying, do this now. Yeah. Whereas this is like that. The next level is you having conversations with this AI, and it'll tell you information as if it was a person, I suppose, and just kind of that next level. But yeah, it's just, I guess, off on a tangent a bit from SEO, but that is some of the interesting stuff that's going on at the moment. But yeah, like...
Yeah, I do agree with Josh as well, though. Like, if you don't have to learn information and you can just type that in, what's the point of even going to school?
Where's the learning part?
But
I can understand for businesses who want to leverage these tools. I get it.
Yeah.
But leverage, but still give a better product. Don't leverage and give a poor product.
That's right.
You know, it's like when someone comes to me and goes, "Oh, I made an organic wine."
Yep.
Just because it says organic, it shouldn't be the opportunity to make it shit. Like, you know what I mean? And that's how I look at it. Like, my wines are not organic. You know, but they're all made on site in South Australia. But whenever you get those losers go there and go, "Oh, but it's organic," and all the rest of it, you taste it, and it's like...
They're usually bad. I've had one good organic wine before.
Oh, no, there's plenty of good ones, don't get me wrong. But I just hate that being a leverage tool but not following up the quality.
Yeah, correct.
So I think...
Is that because it makes the process easier, or what? Like, why is organic lazy?
Well, the process is harder.
Okay.
Which sometimes can lead to a fact of, you know, to the point where it's like, it's not as good quality.
Right, okay.
So I think people miss that link of the chain.
Sure.
You know, like, we'll leverage off really cool words like organic and biodynamic, but hopefully that will spring our sales forward more so than the wine being super quality.
Yeah, okay, I get what you're saying.
So it's like, oh, hey, we use AI for our, you know, our SEO and our performance, but what we'll do is we'll give really shit servers, but we'll let AI be the hero of the story.
Yeah, well, and that's hopefully, and I'm assuming that there's going to be a lot of companies or agencies that go about it the lazy way and think, well, this can make our jobs easier.
Cut a staff member.
Well, exactly, yeah. Because, well, this effectively could do the job of an entry-level, not very good copywriter at the moment for an SEO agency. Essentially, like, they could. Yeah. That's what this could do. Like, because, you know, you do need to write articles and build links and that sort of stuff in articles like that. But all that's going to do is make someone who has gone out, like that example there about the you know, reviewing the best spots in Sydney. Like I said, that was written just like that, just based on what other people have said. They haven't gone out and experienced any of those restaurants because it's a robot, right? So it's going to make an actual, food critic, for example, or someone who's writing that article, if they've gone out, experienced it themselves, and writing really, from the heart and originally, it's going to make that more, like better content, isn't it? And so that's going to be worth more because there's going to be so much of this AI stuff out there. But it's I don't know, it's just seems to be getting better and better. But that's technology, isn't it? Like
Terminator's coming.
So mate, tell us the importance of, you deal with a lot of small businesses, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I also do marketing my businesses. I have someone who looks after my stuff too, and it's very important for me. It's pivotal that we're in front of our competition and that our image out in society and our community is still on top.
Yep.
So, mate, tell us and tell the people who are watching the importance of your image and the importance of getting yourself out there, and what does it take to get yourself out there?
Yep. Yeah, well, I mean, yourself from if you're looking for any sort of business, whether it's a plumber or an accountant or whatever it might be, that's the way that you're going, is you're getting yourself out there, and people are searching for, give me, the plumbers near me or whatever it is. And being the first one, if you're not someone who knows a good plumber, you're going to go to Google, you're going to look on Facebook and whatever it might be to find who is the best person in that space. You're going to read reviews on their website, find out if they're going to be the best people for you, and give them a call, and that's going to raise up their business. So that's sort of what it's all about. Like, making sure that what you're portraying online is that you are reputable, you're a credible company, you're out there a lot. And if people are seeing you over and over and over, and this is what we say to our clients, it's not just about, if you're running a Facebook ad, the first person who sees it is typically not going to click on it. But if they start getting more and more of these ads, they're seeing other people write great reviews about them. Then they go to Google, they see that this place has 100 5-star reviews on Google. They see them doing awesome stuff on Instagram or on TikTok, whatever it might be, to engage people. They've got like a really good blog on their site that's really active and kept up to date. You can see that they're doing heaps of stuff. You're more likely to get that person over the line to work with you and want to come back to you and provide their own reviews and just build it and continue to build it up. And I mean, that's especially for you with the restaurant, for example, like it's a very visual sort of business, I suppose. If people are searching for you on Instagram, which is a massive thing that people do these days, where they're, before they go to a place, they are checking it out. It used to be, you might just check a few reviews on Google, which people still do. Then it sort of went to going onto the website, having a look at the menu. And now a big thing, I know, because just as a regular person who, before I go to a restaurant, like I'll have a look at the food on Instagram, and you guys having a really good following there, having lots of amazing images, having really good stuff there, means that people already have an idea of what they're going to experience before they arrive there. Yeah. And then after that, you provide, once they arrive, you provide the terrific service, you give them a night to remember, they're more likely to go on and give a 5-star review. And it's that whole process, because if you don't follow up on that service part, then it dies there, doesn't it? Because you're not going to get more good reviews. So it's all about, us making sure that our clients are in front of their target, not just any target audience, but their target audience as much as possible. And that's like what we specialize in. Our bread and butter is SEO, but sort of as a result of having to sort of service, not necessarily be a one-stop shop, but we found that our clients they've wanted us over time, to do their SEO. And then they said, oh, do you run Google ads as well? Do you run Facebook ads as well? So we've had to pivot and turn from what we were originally about 8, 9, 10 years ago, which was a specialized SEO agency, into a digital marketing agency that can cover everything, have the service to do that and have the resources to do that, and be really well equipped in all of those areas.
Do you think that was a massive positive doing that, 5 to 10 years ago? Because the way I think about SEO and marketing, I think Facebook ads, Google ads, Instagram ads.
Yeah.
I don't think SEO.
Well, that's
the average person wouldn't go, I need some SEO, would they?
And that, no. Well, typically not. And that's where...
Well, give me a dose of SEO.
Okay. Yeah. I want one SEO, please. No. So, I mean, SEO is interesting because people don't know they're being advertised to still. Yeah. If you go to Google and search for something, you don't necessarily know that you're being advertised. Like you find that those things that are showing there is just Google displaying you the best results of what you want to find based on what the search query was. But people don't know that there's all those people who are on the top page have paid companies like us to get them above their competitors on that first page. Like, people know that the ads at the top are being paid for.
Yeah.
They know that if you're on Facebook and you're searching for stuff that, and your ads get displayed, that someone's paying for that. A lot of people don't know that that you're being advertised to when you go to Google.
Hospitality.
No, they don't. They wouldn't realize.
No. So that's
even me. I go past the paid ones and then I start looking at the top few.
at the organic ones, right?
Correct.
So that's SEO, is those organic results. So Google is doing a whole heap to try and, obviously being a business, they want to make as much money as possible. So if you looked 8-9 years ago, Google results were 1 ad at the top, 10 organic listings. Those organic listings, to get those there, that's SEO, right? That's what SEO is. And then maybe 1 other listing at the bottom. If you make any search on Google now, you'll have 3 ads at the top, then you'll have maps, then you'll have maybe, a big listing down the side of like the most relevant company for that. Then you'll have your 10 organic results, and then you'll have another 3 ads, because it's all focused towards trying to get them more information. But yeah, to go back to your question, Stephen, like we sort of, when the business first came about, it was just SEO that we wanted to focus on. That was what we were really good at, and that was where we wanted to take things. But we found that a couple of times we'd have clients say to us, can you also run Google ads for us? And we said, no, sorry, but there's other specialist companies who do that. And we felt at the time that was the best way of going about it. Mm-hmm. But then those agencies that they go to run their Google ads would say, hey, we do SEO as well. And they'd go, oh, well, it's just easier having one company that can do everything. So we'd lose them as a client.
Yeah.
So I then got myself certified at the time when, we didn't really have a great deal of staff. I got myself certified as a Google AdWords expert. Then we offered it. Then we hired staff that were the same as me, and then we just built it from there. Same with Facebook marketing. We don't do it to necessarily be a jack of all trades and master of none. Like, we know what our real good sweet spot is, and that's SEO. And we typically won't bring clients on just to run their Facebook ads, but if you want to do SEO with us and then also run Facebook ads, then we can do that as well, and we can do it really, really well, because we've hired and got the resources now to do that, and we felt that it massively helped us to not just be specialized in just SEO.
So where does the story begin for you? So do you have to go to university to do this type of stuff, or what's the story look like?
Yep. So came out of high school and decided that I wanted to go to uni. I was sort of a bit burnt out after high school, so I took a gap year, which but I was always going to go back to uni. Originally, I was going to do a Bachelor of Communications, which I did end up doing, but I was going to go into film. So I was going to go into film studies. That was originally the plan, but then went into uni, and the first core unit we had was sort of the first year you do advertising, PR, film studies, and journalism. And in that first one, they said, look, if you're really passionate about film and that's what you want to get into, it's a tough industry, but that's what you can do. And he said, if you want to make terrific money, do advertising. And my whole career path changed as soon as he said that. Probably just because of how my sort of mind was at the time. And
you could have been the next Steven Spielberg.
I was going to be, yeah. But,
it was on the cards.
Yeah, it was on the cards. It was always going to happen, but no. So then I decided to get into advertising. So majored in advertising and sub-majored in journalism, just to have a bit of a good writing background as well. Yep. And then in the last semester of uni, needed to do an internship, and found one through the university's website, which was for a company, a very, very new company in Parramatta called SEO Premier. Went and had a meeting with him, got the internship, and at the time it was just Joe, who was now he is the managing director, founder, and works from our English office. So it was just him moving into an office in Parramatta. So I was there sort of right from the ground up, really got on with him well, thought this is the sort of mentor and person that I want to partner with and do well with. And from there got full-time work, and it's been that way ever since. But then from there we sort of expanded quite quickly, and fortunately being there right from the start, I was number 2, and that was terrific. And so about 3 or 4 years in, we were doing really well, and he said, because he's originally from Manchester over in the UK. He came over here to set up the business here because he felt like the SEO and the sort of digital marketing in Australia was years behind England, and he felt like he could have a really good service to offer to come over here, and he felt like there was a big gap in the market here. And so the plan was always then to go back and set up another office in the UK. So that's what happened. So he said, I was sort of there, and he said, look, do you want to buy in and take ownership and run the Australian office? I'll go back and do the hard yards again and establish the UK office. And we just keep sort of building out from there. But yeah, that's sort of how it all started. And so yeah, straight out of uni. But even with uni, I think I had one class in one unit that was related to digital marketing.
Yeah, wow.
And the rest of it was, yeah.
Well, that's a common occurrence with uni, right? You're not learning the actual job. You're just learning a bunch of tools that could apply one day to a job.
That's right. Yeah. And that was, like people say, well, if that was the case, did you really need to go to uni? And it was like, it's a funny one. It's like, and you sort of find this with a lot of, just happenstance things, but I wouldn't have gotten the internship if it wasn't for uni. I wouldn't have gone down this path to do that. And at the time, because when I was took the gap year and worked through uni, I was doing something completely unrelated. I was running fiber cable for the national broadband network and going into the city and doing night shifts, running fiber cable up and down buildings and that sort of stuff. And in that last semester, when I was doing the internship, my boss there, he said to me, do you want to? When you leave here, I'll give you $50,000 a year. I'll give you a van. I'll give you a work phone, and you can go and do that. And it was, even though I didn't enjoy the job, like it was, the people were good, but it wasn't what I really wanted to do. But I was really tempted by that, and obviously it was a risk, not going to an established massive agency in the city or an advertising agency, but going into a real, starting at the ground level and having to build up and bring clients on and. So there wasn't a great sort of entry level salary for me there. Yep. And it was less than what I was being offered to take up this job.
Yep.
And so like that tempted me, but I am so glad that I didn't end up doing that. And I thought, I thought, this is an amazing opportunity to, obviously always wanted to build a business and start it from the ground up. But this was like I was coming in at the right time at a place that I felt really good about with Joe, who we're just on the same wavelength with, and we just get on really, really well. And I just could learn so much from him. And I just thought, this is a really good opportunity. Like I can make anything from this. And that's sort of, what's happened. And there's been tough parts along the way, definitely, but like with any journey, but it really has been, awesome to get to this point. And now we're in a position where, like you said, we've got some really well-known clients here and overseas. We've got the 3 offices. We've got 12 staff in Australia. We've got another, I think, 8 in the UK, and then in the Philippines we have 30 staff. So that's another thing with SEO, doing the technical sort of behind the scenes work. A lot of that is, it's not, you couldn't really justify doing that in Australia, to be completely honest. And a lot of all agencies will outsource that, but we went about it a different way and built our own office, hired our own staff there, and made sure that we did the vetting process so that everyone was working exclusively for us, as opposed to just outsourcing it to some sort of random Indian link farm or whatever it might be out there.
Which a lot of people do.
Yep. So
some impressive clients. I just saw on your website, which is a really nice website. Man, you've got some big brands there, like proper international, well-regarded brands.
Yeah.
First of all, I think there'd probably be a bit of fun there. But second of all, it's pretty serious. Like when you're dealing with the big boys, mate, they expect performance and results. So I think I saw, what was it? Manchester United?
Manchester City.
Manchester City?
Yes, yep.
Huge brand.
Huge.
Massive.
Yep.
Mark Boris, iconic Australian investor.
Yep.
Property investor, wealth creator, mentor.
Yep.
How's it like working with him?
Really cool.
Cool guy?
Yeah, very cool guy.
The
Mr.
Boris.
Mark.
Yeah. He is
The king of home loans.
There he is, Yellow Brick.
Yellow Brick, my direct competitor.
He's looking at you in the eyes right now.
Yeah, come on, Mark.
Boris,
Mark
you're
on
on
the
next, big boy. Let's go.
But no, I had a.
So how did that come about? Because, like, as you know, as people become more successful and their social status grows, the harder it is to tap in.
Yeah.
Because everyone wants a piece of the pie.
Yeah.
And it's usually the same thing. Everyone, the higher the status, harder to get a piece of the pie. So I can only imagine that Mark Boris would have been a hard pie to tap into.
It was one of those ones where we started working with the Fordham Company, which is a celebrity management company in Sydney.
It's Ben's brother runs.
Ben's brother Nick, runs that. So Ben Fordham, who's on, I think he's on the Today Show.
Ben
Fordham? He's
2GB.
I used to listen to 2GB all the time.
Yeah, right.
Ben, you're on next, Ben.
I love Ben. I actually really like Ben.
On.
Yeah?
I like Ben Fordham. He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
He's cool.
Yeah, so his brother Nick runs the Fordham Company, which talent management agency. They organise or have their clients are
Manshake as well. They own.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We used to do a lot of work for them as well. So that was our sort of first ticket into that, and it was just Nick said, "Hey guys, Mark wants to build this site for this sort of learning course
Mentoring.
and that ended up being mentored. So we built the site for that.
Yeah, wow.
And that's now a really good sort of resource for young entrepreneurs to go there and listen to his podcast.
Mentored?
Mentored.com.au.
It's a podcast. He does the podcast too.
Yeah, so and then he does does a couple of different podcasts as well. So from there we just sort of did a good job with that, and then he's gotten in touch with us a few more times to do stuff. So I was had a meeting with him sort of the start of last year. He said, I'm collaborating with a winery down in South Australia to put out a whiskey. He's just friends with them, went down there, and they ended up making this whiskey, which turned out to be really, really good. And just thought, let's give this a go. So we built the website for that. That's
he's released it now, hasn't he?
He's released it now, yeah. So this is his own website that we built for him. So I'm guessing this is markburis.com.au. This is Mentored, sorry. Yeah.
He's a serious fellow, isn't he?
He is, but he's super down to earth, super charismatic. Like just meeting with him and thinking like this guy's worth. I know he sold Wizard Home Loans in 2004, I think, for $500 million.
Yeah.
So that was pretty incredible. And he only started the business about 6 years before that. So
you know what's funny about the Wizard Home Loan sale?
Yeah.
Because I believe Wizard Home Loans was purchased by GE in 2000. I think it was 2006 or 2007, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then the GEC happened, and then pretty much GE. I think they just wound it up eventually.
Yeah.
Like the sale of the price.
Yeah, he definitely sold at the top.
Mark Boris is awesome. I respect that guy a lot. He sold at the top though.
Yeah.
Let's get him on the podcast.
But yeah, just like it was just sort of being in that, just having a meeting with him was just so inspiring. Like I remember, I've said before like that, just being there, I was like, whoa, the guy's just so charismatic, and you think the sort of people that the sort of circles that he's running around in, and yet he's just chatting to me and our web designer about something, and he gave us complete attention for the full hour and really went into his backstory and everything that he wanted to do. But it meant that like if you have a look at thebird.com.au website, which so we built that for him for his whiskey, and just because of how much time he was able to give us, the website is like unreal. It's one of my favorite websites that we built for.
Oh, really?
And it's just it's
in
awesome.
The WordPress platform.
That one's in WordPress.
WordPress,
yeah. So we do most sites in WordPress. But yeah, so that it's although our website's
Bird.
Hopefully it all.
This is his whiskey.
This is his whiskey.
The
yeah.
bird is the word.
Yeah, so we built this. So hopefully it all loads up. But yeah,
so it's a pretty big website.
It's not necessarily big, but it's just working with someone who's such an ultimate professional meant that we could get terrific content. We could get he got amazing photography done. We just got everything when we needed it, and we also set it up so that with each, because it was only a run of about 500 that they were selling bottles, and with each one you got, which was a big rage at the time, you got a unique NFT, which was a copy of like just a picture of your whiskey as well. Right. And so we had to set up that too, and he did that just to, because he's like, this could be a fad or it could be a big thing, and if someone keeps that and holds on to it for 25 years and gives that to their to their kids or whatever.
Maybe do it on Edge. I need to update my Mac, so sometimes I have compatibility issues with some websites, because that's probably a pretty high performing website.
It's pretty cool. I mean, it's not, there's obviously better websites out there or more technological, but when it all loads up, like you just say, it's just a really sick, smooth website to sort of go through. But yeah, and similar thing with Man City. So we did some work over. It's just a lot of it is who and not and just sort of getting lucky with you make your own luck, obviously.
Well,
but
you create the opportunity.
That's right. You get yourself out there. You do enough, and things will fall in place. And it's just the people that you talk to, and eventually, we were able to get some great contacts and get in with. I think Man City was through. We were working with a company over there, and the marketing coordinator or manager then went and moved to Man City and got us in there. And their previous agency that they were working with at the time, luckily for us, had just gone through this big scandal where they were paying. I don't know if you know, but Man City were having this sort of issue with not getting enough fans to games. Like, there's all these other English clubs that have a rich history and heaps of, doesn't matter how crap the team's doing, they'll still get full stadiums. Man City were being amazing and, winning like heaps and still not getting great fans to games. So I don't know why they did this, but their way of going about it was paying like TikTok influencers to go to games and like, do the whole journey and stuff. And it just turned into this big scandal that they were basically paying fans to go to games.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that other agency got done, and that was we're in.
Right.
Yeah. So and that was
but now I'm sure many agencies pay people to go to, because this was been a few years ago, right?
This was 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah. See, that's when it was frowned upon. Now, I guarantee you that.
I tell you that my Instagram is full of wannabes going
influencers. Yeah.
Hey, I've got 10,000 followers on my Instagram. Can I come have a free dinner? I'll take photos. And I'm like, fuck no. No. I've got someone right now going, hey, I want a free dinner. I'm like, fuck no. Like, unless you've got like a meal, then maybe we'll talk about it. Maybe, but still, now you're shitting on my product. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, if you really, really wanted to go somewhere, mate, I'm happy to look after you while you're there, but at least the least thing you can do is offer to
don't
cover
just want
costs.
to go around places getting free feeds and just
That's
saying,
what they do, mate.
Yeah, I know.
And there was that whole story about people getting shamed after that when they were like, sorry, we don't do that type of stuff.
Which was good.
I hate,
really. I enjoyed
and I hate on TikTok, there's people who review food, right? They have food TikToks. Every restaurant they go to is absolutely amazing and you must try it. Bullshit. Most restaurants are terrible.
Oh, God.
Every time I see it, it drives me nuts. I'm like, you cannot like all these restaurants.
You just know they're getting paid for it.
Yeah, they're getting paid.
I love the whole journey
food.
too. It's like, so I went down to the thing the other day and then there's someone walking and they're opening the door and you have to try this. This is their best dish. And it's like a chihuahua.
So I did, when we went to California, I tried a couple of the restaurants I kept seeing on TikTok. 80% of them were not good. Like average to not good.
That's California for you.
Yeah, but then 20% of the food was actually good. I didn't mind it.
It's pretty average.
I thought compared to Australia, Californian was quite a nice food. I thought on average over there, I found higher quality of flavors, but that's it. I found quite average. I lost my train of thought there.
Fair enough.
I started thinking about a hot dog dinner that over there. It went through my head.
Now he's like, American ribs and brisket.
That was awesome, mate. Honestly, Bakersfield pork chop bobbies or something. That was fucking awesome. You should go there. Anyway, back to SEO.
Well, I think, and like you were saying with the whole influencer thing now, like it is a big thing, and it wasn't like back that issue was illegal or frowned upon. Or anything. It was more just the scope from a PR perspective. At the time, they were in the news because they weren't getting fans there, and then there was a story about the company, literally the club, paying fans to go to games.
Okay.
It was just like the optics of it were just and they would it was just bad timing and like not a very good PR stunt, but it was great for us because now they're our clients.
Well, I don't know if you can say then, but what type of work is it? Is it SEO work? I don't know if you're
so I can't go obviously too in depth into it, but it's sort of like on a retainer basis, just making sure that when they're putting out like fixtures and things like that, that where the first Man City is the first one that comes up if you search for Man City versus Everton tickets or something, that they're buying it straight through their website as opposed to going to another retailer. If they want to get their match day information, who are the lineups, who's playing, what's it paying, that sort of stuff, that they're getting that from the official Man City side as opposed to from those other sites. So it's just sort of doing that and making sure that we are a very small wheel in a very big cog at a company like that. Like we are just
correct.
There are so many moving parts. There's so many.
It's super important to maintain their image too.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like it's a small wheel, but like I see my marketing people in my business as a very important wheel. Mm-hmm. Like I will chat to them weekly alongside with accountants and stuff like that, professional services. They are on my table.
Yeah.
If they're going out there gaining business for me, they're equally as important than any other facet in the business.
Yeah.
So you might be a small wheel, but they've employed you to maintain their image, and to improve it.
Yeah.
To improve their memberships, to improve their customer retention, to improve their home game success.
Correct.
Like otherwise, why would you do it?
Yeah.
So there's practicals behind people's decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we certainly don't take it for granted, and we know that it's for companies of that size, there is they've got internal marketing teams, they've got everything like that going on, but they'll come to us and say, for example, like if they have a big signing, they'll say, get us to do like a report on where did all that traffic come from, what was the engagement on the page, so for example, like when they signed Jack Grealish a couple of years ago, we had a look at that versus when they recently signed Erling Haaland, who was another big signing. They're sort of their marquee signings for those seasons. How did the web traffic compare? Like, we paid X amount for these signings. Did that turn into higher engagement on our products, on our different platforms? So it's all that sort of stuff like that goes into it. And you don't as much see it on that level for some of the smaller brands that we work with and businesses, but it's all the same sort of model. It's the same sort of stuff. It's just you need eyes on your brand over other brands, and I need you to get that for me. And that's sort of digital marketing is just the most recent form of it, but before that it was traditional advertising, which is still prevalent today. Your billboards, your buses, your all different stuff like that, where you've got your old school forms of marketing, and then you've got your new stuff, which is online, your Googles, your Facebooks, your YouTubes, whatever it might be. But I guess I like it because it's so much more. You're so much more accountable for it. It's so much more black and white whether it's working or not. If you can, there's definitely still a point to having things like your billboard ads and your radio ads and your TV ads and stuff like that. But if you were to have a billboard somewhere, then obviously you can find out the information of how many cars drive past that each day, how many eyes you're getting on that. But that's not necessarily their target audience. You do it in a sense of, if you want to target people in Sydney, you'll have those billboards in Sydney. But when you're talking Google ads or social media marketing, you can get so far down into it and target people who are interested in exactly these things, who fit your demographics. They're between these ages, they're interested in these different things, they are this gender, for example, or whatever it might be. You can really hone in on your target audience and make sure that the people that are going to fit that are going to see your ads. And the next side of that is the reportability and the accountability is so fine as well. You can say exactly how many people visited the site as a result of ads X, Y, and Z. You can see from that how many people ended up converting. Did they give you a call? Did they buy something on the website? Did they fill out a form? What did they do? And those reports and those metrics can then inform your decision making for the next campaign or the next, so that your strategy can continue to evolve. And that's where we're finding there are a lot of large agencies that have grown, astronomically, that this isn't all of them, but there are some that are very churn and burn in the sense that their whole thing is sales. Their whole thing is getting people through the door, getting them to sign on. But then from there on, the service sort of drops off a bit. You just become a number, and that's sort of how it goes. But they're not fussed, because as long as they're getting 2 new clients for every 1 client that cancels, they're fine. That our business model is different to that. We see ourselves as boutique. We're to the point now where we're lucky that we can choose who we want to work with, and we only want to keep it to that. But we don't have any contracts or anything like that in place. We just go month by month, but we retain clients because we do a good job. We have a good service. We feel we're very approachable. By no means are we perfect. There's always room for improvement. But that's, we try our best to make it so that our reporting is amazing. We're always available for meetings. It's not, you don't come on through a sales manager and get passed straight to a manager who's 3 months out of uni and has no idea about the brand or anything. We have the same people going through the entire process, so that when our clients come on, they feel just as important in the first month as they do in 12 months, as they do in 24 months. And that's why we retain clients, for that exact reason.
Well, there are a lot of big brands out there who aren't looking after their clients, or will have really great sales managers who bring them on, and then afterwards the results don't occur. It gets worse and worse. And look, their game is a game of scale. Mm-hmm. So you get 1,000 people, probably half of them are lazy and they won't check at the results, but they feel good because they're paying someone to do something.
Yep.
And half will leave and go to somewhere else.
Yep. They're shifting responsibility, and that's what people do. They feel like, okay, if they're paying someone, we're shifting the responsibility to someone else. But I think the key factor to this, whether there's a good or a bad job, typically someone who's doing a bad job is the one who's not communicating the most.
Mm-hmm.
So communication will break links in the chain immediately.
Definitely.
Straight away. Like, I'll have new staff coming there into my restaurant. We know they're going to do a bad job. Mm-hmm. Like, they're new.
Yep.
They're going to do a horrible job. But at least communicate with the customer, let them know they're going to do a shit job. So they know what they're getting themselves into. Like, I tell my young ones to go into the restaurant and say to all the customers there, I'm new. I'm still learning. Give me a bit of time to get around it.
Yeah.
So basically, they're removing the expectation that they're going to do some amazing job for them. So I think communication is just so important, because you're going to have clients sit there and go, well, I expected X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And you haven't delivered on X, Y, and Z.
Yep.
You get probably some angry person like Steve and I going, what the hell?
Yeah, and it happens, and sometimes it's us that's dropped the ball, for example. But yeah, like you say, it is. We find that how good of a relationship we can have with the client in terms of lots of communication all the time, making sure that we're on the same page, we're being completely transparent, but at the same time, so are they, about what they're. It's not just come on and say, all right, well, we just want more website traffic, we want more business, and that's it. It needs to go a step further than that. It needs to be a constant dialogue between the client and the agency to make sure that you're continuing to provide the best product, because at the same time, as our business model and our services may evolve over time, so might our clients. And in 12 months, they say, well, we're now doing this. Like, why aren't we at the top of this? It's like, well, because you didn't tell us that you were doing that. Like, and it's that back and forth between just making sure that you're always on the same page, and that we're trying to be proactive in going to them and saying, hey, here's this new thing we should try, or we've seen this work with other clients. Do you want to give it a try? But at the same time, we do expect that from the clients as well, that if they if they've got something new on the market, if a new product offering, a new service offering, that they say that to us, and that it's a very they're very honest about how the results are looking on their end. We can get the phone ringing, we can get submissions coming in, we can get leads generated, but they need to be quality, and that's a big thing as well. And that's where we need to make sure that we're doing our best to do that. But at the same time, we need that dialogue between, there's some months where, we were quiet this month, or us saying, we can go as far as knowing that this company's had 50 phone calls come through. And to us, there was 20 last week, there was 50, or 20 last month, 50 this month. We're like, this is amazing. This has been a terrific campaign. But those calls weren't were crap. Like they were tire kickers. They weren't people who were the right target audience or something like that. So we need to adjust our strategy accordingly. But we'll only get that if that that sort of back and forth happens. And that's what we find. Is
we need
super
quality
important.
content, and I think someone who believes in their product and their brand is probably the best person for you to work with.
It is.
Someone who's like super passionate, dedicated.
Yep.
They're going to work with the marketing agency. Like don't think that just because they've got a marketing agency, they're going to fix their whole business. Like you really have to work together. Like I've been working with them for years.
Yep.
And there's always been like an arm wrestle between party A and party B to put out creative content all the time.
Yep.
Because everyone can go throw a beautiful photo up there and go, look at me, my dish is beautiful. But what's going to stand out?
Yeah.
We just started something, like, I don't even know if you know this, Stephen, but like last week, it would have been, I don't know, maybe, was it Brent on a Friday or something? Was it Friday or Saturday?
Yeah, Brendo told me.
Friday. Man, for the last few weeks, I've just been churning out ideas going, what's different? What's different? What's different? Mate, any restaurant on the planet can go put a collage of photos on a Facebook. Everyone's doing it. And they all look great. Mate, credit to all the photographers out there. You're doing a fucking great job. But it's the same shit.
Yeah.
Look at us. Our dishes look beautiful. They all look beautiful when they're staged. They all look great. So I went to Brendan. I was like, fuck it. Let's just do a video. But like, not just any old video. Like, I want you to be glued on my hip for hours and just see what it's like a reality TV show. Do something different. Yeah. Like see the emotion, see the fire, see my staff communicating, see me. Did I have a bit of a dig at a few of them? Yeah, I think I did, eh? This is not how I run my kitchen. Oh, fuck, did I really? Shit.
Gordon.
So, yeah. So,
Gordon Ramsay.
Like,
Gordon
that's just
Ramsay.
me in general, though. So I was just like,
Idiot
mate, I told him the whole time, I was like,
Idiot
Brendan, I was like, mate, I was like, just keep the camera rolling. Like, it's fucking jammed in here tonight. So I was like, just keep the camera rolling. I said, but, just FYI, like, if I'm getting a bit heated, just tell me, let me know. And he's like, no, fucking keep rolling
keep
it.
going. Yeah, because that's what people want to see.
Shit, it's different. Like, how many times I go on my Facebook and I'm like, sweet, another restaurant's doing a photo. What do you call it? A photo collage of. What's the name of it?
Where you're sliding through the.
Yeah, what's that called?
It's called a carousel.
Carousel.
Yeah.
There's another carousel of beautiful photos.
Another one of those. Yeah. Well,
everyone's doing a carousel.
Yeah. And there's so much content out there at the moment, but so much crap content.
Correct.
And so you really do need to do something unique and different to stand out.
Personalized.
Yeah. Yeah. Something that makes you stand out as doing something that people want. That they want, like you're saying, when you get to that level where you have an amazing restaurant or whatever, like you want to make sure that what you're doing is the experience is amazing, that you have passion about what you're doing,
but it's unique.
Yeah. And
it's
then
unique
it's
to our
different.
brand.
Yeah.
So I think maybe something that people can take out of this is that, if you've got a small business or a large business, either or, don't leave it in the hands 100% to the marketing guys. Like they need to feel your passion, desire to do well. And always remember, if you think that you're onto something that's amazing, mate, it's already been done a million times before you. You need to dig deeper and do more.
Yep.
Dig deeper, grab the shovel, dig the hole, and find something that maybe is not in your eyesight every single day. It will come to you. I treat it like walking into a factory with no lights on. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden a little light turns on. Yeah. That's the idea that I'll roll with. And then
giving it 150%.
And I'll go, let's go for it. Let's just get it done.
Yeah.
But think you're standing in a factory with no lights, but there's actually a million lights there. One of them just has to turn on. Yeah. And I'll just go, bingo, let's go.
And and 100%. Like that. And you, as in this example, like if you as the client, you understand your business better than I, as the marketing agency, ever will. Correct. And that's the same with all of our clients. I'm not an expert in every single field.
No, you're coming on my journey.
Correct. Yeah. So I need complete, we need to be obviously transparent about what we're going to be doing because you're paying us to, you need to know where your money's going, that you're going to have a positive return on investment. But if you can also be completely, transparent and give us everything we need, then we will achieve greatness together. And that's what we are always striving to do, because we are all about doing a really, really good job for a select group of brands that we know are as passionate about it as we are about marketing.
And that's the issue with people with the marketing companies a lot, because you always hear people will try it for a couple of months and they go, I didn't get any leads, or it's not very good. Yeah. if you're not creating your own content as the business owner to give to these people, you're going to get stock images with just text there,
right.
which
burns me.
Yep.
Fucking burns me.
And it's not effective, right? Now, they can create content based off what they see of your content. That's cool because agencies will do that as long as it's relevant. But if it's stock images, that's not going to work long term. So if you're not creating your own content, like videos, even for the Facebook ads, you need to create your own videos and be specific in what you want. Because if you leave it up to someone else who doesn't understand the industry or where the market's going, then you're going to be throwing money down the drain. You may get some clients, but you're not going to optimize your spend at all.
Yep, 100%.
I think, mate, original branding, be practical about your approach. And I think people like to see the desire and the passion that you're putting into it.
Yep.
So when I see dumb shit like stock images that they're buying and that, it's not original to your brand.
No.
It has no fucking relation to
No,
your
it's
brand.
nothing.
And it's not
Means
you.
nothing.
Yeah,
Mate, there's a million photographers and videographers. There's one standing behind the camera right now who would love to do your content and do it really fucking well. But guess what, kiddies? It's an investment.
Yeah.
It's an investment.
Yep.
You know, do you pay for
100%.
shit? You get shit.
That's
You
right.
pay for good, you get good.
Yep.
You hang around losers, you're a loser. Hang around winners, we win together. You know, it's
Love
just,
it. Yeah,
mate, pick your circle and roll with it.
That's it.
You know?
But like you're saying, like it is, and this is what we tell clients, it's an investment. Clients, you know, sometimes, and not all, some people just get it instantly, but you got to change that mantra of people saying we've got to spend money on marketing, or we have to spend money on ads, whatever.
It's invest
You are investing
money. Yes,
money.
invest mentality.
That's what you are doing. This isn't just like just a cost that you need to just outlay. There needs to be something that you're going to get back in return for that, and that's what you need to see it as. And it's not going to be an overnight thing, and it's going to be something that we take time to try and build, and we're going to trial some different things, but it will work. Like if you're as invested in this as us, then it will work. And that's
So get out of your comfort zone.
exactly, yeah.
And get ready to actually exercise that brain between your two ears and actually explore and dive a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
You know, people love to scratch the surface. Man, there's so much shit underneath that you can access. And you need people like yourself. You need accountants. You need lawyers. You need great managers, great
Correct.
people to bounce off. Like, this is your fucking team.
Yep.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
correct.
These are your people.
Yeah.
So the people who are around you need to be equally as hungry and desirable as
That's
you.
it. Yeah.
And that's how we win together.
Yeah.
Even if
So-
they're not the business owners or whoever it might be, if they're your team, but you need everyone on the same page going towards the same, everyone's on the same journey, everyone's on the same goal, and you want them as invested in the business as you are, and you want everyone to just be, doing the best every single day and making sure that, look, we're all, obviously you do a job to make money and to support yourself and to provide for your family, but if you're doing it every day, why not do it 150%?
Yeah.
And not just,
Mate, I
and
can
just be
know
the
is like-
best at it.
Mate,
Why not be?
I'm as sure as shit. If you've got Mark Boris as one of your clients, then, mate, that...
He doesn't take mediocrity. He's
Oh,
not.
fuck.
Yeah,
Mate,
yeah.
bang,
No,
shut down
no.
the line. Like, mate, he's a serious businessman who makes serious decisions.
Yeah.
So you treat him seriously.
Correct.
He
Yes.
deals with tens of millions, if not hundreds
does.
of millions of dollars quite regularly.
Yeah.
And they're big decisions, important decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to decide to have SEO Premier as part of his team,
Yep.
that's a big decision for him.
100%. Yeah.
So, mate, credit to you guys to be able to sustain those type of people.
Yeah.
Like, you've got Oxford University, you've got Man City,
Man City,
Manchester.
yeah.
Was it
Yeah.
Man City?
Yeah.
I'm not a massive football fan, so I do apologise.
I don't watch
I'm a-
football either.
I'm a rugby, tennis type of dude. But anyway,
Rugby league over here.
rugby league,
Yeah.
rugby union, I love all that stuff. But
Do you like
mate,
the FIFA then?
Oh, yeah.
Bit of
Yeah, I'm
FIFA?
all over FIFA.
Yeah.
yeah, I could tell you had a bit of passion about it before,
Yeah.
which helps.
But I've played soccer since I was 5 as well. So, like, I've got a vested interest in soccer, and that made it so much better as well. Like,
But
it's
yeah,
amazing.
but you've maintained big clients.
Yeah.
Which is an awesome achievement. Like those guys can chew you up and spit you out in a second.
Yeah.
But if they see trust in you and trust in your product and your services, then
Yeah.
man, huge credit. And mate, I honestly wish that you guys do get bigger clients and you stay around for a long time. It's a huge credit, and I always support success,
Yeah.
100%. I don't use the typical Australian stigma where it's like success is looked down upon, and it's very
Yeah.
much an Australian
Tall
society.
poppy syndrome.
Yeah, tall poppy syndrome.
Yeah.
Success in this country is not success. If people see it, they don't like it. Overseas is very different.
Yeah.
People see success overseas as like inspiring, and they want to aspire to be that.
Yeah.
It's slowly changing in this country due to social media and having access to seeing what it is over on the other side of the world. But before that, mate, you're an arsehole if you drove a German car. You're a dick. You know what I mean? You're an arsehole if you drove an Italian supercar. Like, you're a fuckwit. It's slowly changing.
But I mean, that goes back to, people in their friend groups as well. And this is something I'm finding, like, each year I get older, is that your friend group or your close friend group gets smaller and smaller, because some people, when they see you being successful, are like super happy for you, and really they want to be on that journey with you, they want to support you, they want to go and do those sorts of things. Where there's others who, they don't want to see you succeed. Like they want to talk about their own stuff and what they're doing and stuff, but that's not, it's everyone should just want to, like you say, see other success and think that's mad. I love you for that. Let's do.
Mate, people just
do more,
need to. People just need to accept other people for what they are.
Yeah.
Like, just because you're in your little fucking hole doesn't mean that we all need to jump in there with you. Yeah. We've all got our places in life. We've all got our lanes. Accept it for what they are. Yep. It doesn't matter if you don't drive a Ferrari or a Lambo. It just means that maybe the course that you're on right now didn't allow you to. But it's not to say that you can't jump on that course.
Yeah.
There's nothing that's impossible.
But there's no right or wrong either. Like
Correct.
Every lane is different. Everyone's on a completely different journey. Like me, in my personal life, went through what you would call the traditional, high school sweetheart, got married, got a job, got a house, got a dog, had a kid. Just did like the whole thing. Like literally
in that order.
In that order, the traditional as fuck. Yeah. But that's not, because that 50 years ago was probably we didn't do it because of that. That's just what worked for me. Sure. But that's not there's no right or wrong way.
No.
You could be on a completely different path. You could see your success in your early 20s, or you could see it in your late 50s. Who cares? As long as everyone's just trying to do better than they did yesterday. As long as everyone's just trying to get the people around them to feel good and succeed, then that's it, isn't it?
Well, it comes down to insecurities, right? A lot of people will not enjoy your success because it's a reflection on themselves, because they were at one point they were at the same level as you.
Yeah.
And now you're at a different level. Mm-hmm. Now they'll envy that, or they'll try to envy it, or they'll feel lack within themselves. But that's
themselves. A victim mentality. Like what? If I see that, like
no victims on this podcast, mate.
Right.
Fuck no.
Only winners.
That's it, bro. You get the
Losers
fuck out
have meetings,
of the door.
winners have parties.
Don't accept it. No one in this fucking cave, mate. This is the cave of fucking winners.
What did you say?
Losers have meetings, winners have parties.
There you go.
That's it. But yeah, if you see your friends or whoever it might be out there doing well, you can look at that and go, well, why aren't I doing as well? Or that's crap. I don't want to be happy about that because I'm not like that.
Because we have some dumbass shit in this country where we feel like we cut down success, and then we feel like those motherfuckers have to be on. I have to be on those levels. Yeah. It pisses the fuck out of me, bro. It pisses me off.
I can tell.
There's assholes out there. Look at success like fucking. No, it pisses me off, bro.
He agrees though.
Yeah, 100%.
Fucked up.
100%.
It drives me fucking mental to know that people out there look at people who actually work their ass off.
Yeah.
Who strategize, plan, don't sleep at night. Why? Because they want to have whatever they want in their life. That's their subjective point of view. Yeah. And mate, good fucking luck to them.
Yeah.
I have a subjective point of view of how I want to live my life. So I tailor my life to how I want to see it in the future.
Correct. Yeah.
But that's got nothing to do with any motherfucker on this planet. I couldn't care.
Yeah.
That's my subjective point of view.
Yeah.
I won't change the way I am. But mate, the winner's circle always looks better than the loser's circle.
100%. Exactly.
So I want to work my ass off to be in the winner's circle. And I'll do exactly whatever it takes.
That's it.
Not those idiots there going, oh, you're going to burn out. Bro, the people who burn out are the people who don't know how to use their energy properly.
Yeah.
They don't know how to manage their day. Yeah. Mate, they can't even tie their fucking shoelaces up in the morning and they burn their toast.
My shoelaces are tied, luckily.
Yeah, they burn their toast,
Josh,
mate.
You'll always be a winner to me. So.
Thanks, darling. Thank you.
But you see that and you just want, like if he does something amazing and you see that, you're like, that's mad. I want to do that. Like, how do I help you do that?
I do.
Exactly. But so many people do the opposite and they look at that and go, oh, well, I'm not doing that well. Shit. And then they just go further back into
let's
themselves.
tell him how shit it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
Why would you do that?
Or they do exactly what you just said, which is, if someone's doing well or they say, this is what I've done or whatever, then they come back to you with, oh, well, what if you burn out, or what about this, or what about, and it's like,
Oh, bro,
shut
I hate the burnout
Like,
language.
stop.
Actually, someone told me the other day, and I cut them down straight away. I was like, I'm just going to stop you there. I've had 3 people tell me this week I'm going to burn out. I said, listen, people who burn out are people who don't know how to manage their day and manage their life.
Yep.
Okay, we all have a portion of sleep. We all have a portion of exercise. We'll have a portion of business. If you can't manage your day, that's on you. But trust me, there will be no burning out on my end.
In Josh's defense, I can see why people think that of him because, well, in their defense, sorry, not in your defense, in their defense,
Fuck them.
you're 150%, mate, every single day.
Every
It's incredible.
day. I use every minute of this fucking day, mate.
It's
Mate,
incredible, mate.
Straight after this thing, I'm bang straight to the city meeting next
Yeah.
thing. Like, mate, but I fucking love it. There's a
well,
difference.
that's it. That you love it.
Like
exactly.
I love it. Like this is fucking
love
cool.
it.
This is the best thing ever. Coming on this podcast, you know,
That's
with
so
Stephen, with Brendan, having young entrepreneurial people like you have a mindset.
Yeah.
I hate using the word entrepreneur because it's such a wank statement at the moment.
100%,
Like
yeah.
I see entrepreneurial sort of status as someone who's got 7 streams of income that includes property and other
Yeah.
businesses. So for me, I fucking hate that. But I love the entrepreneurial mindset.
Yeah.
You know, of hustling hard and
Yeah.
creating opportunity because that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
yeah.
And if just because you've made it or you've done a certain thing, there are some people who just they always want more, and like in the best possible way, right? So if you can be doing something and just going back on like Mark Buros as an example, he had a huge company, sold it, could have just sat at home and just done whatever, but he didn't.
Yeah, correct.
Did another company. While he's doing that, he's doing a million other things. The guy's in his 60s. He's in the gym at like 4 a.m. every day. Then he goes out. He's got more money than God just about, and he still works so hard and just keeps trying to do more
Why?
stuff.
Because he loves mental stimulation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mental stimulation is so good. And when
Yeah.
people retire is when they die a lot
Yep.
of the time.
Yeah.
Have you seen this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
And
does.
my grandfather's
Correct.
like 87 years old, and twice a week he still goes to one of my uncle's shops and helps him do shit.
Yeah.
Why? Because it has mental
of that,
stimulation.
yeah.
Keeps him rolling, keeps him responsibility,
Yeah,
keeps him
keeps him
accountable.
young, keeps him busy.
And man, it's just one of those things where you got to keep that brain pumping, keep it moving.
Yeah.
And don't rely on this AI bullshit.
So look, what's
Taking it back full circle there.
what's the future of SEO or Facebook ads? Do you see things changing over time now with TikTok taking a massive stance in the industry?
Yeah, it's always changing, and things are, it's hard to try and look forward and predict what's going to happen out there. Like but we just need to evolve with it. Like it's like you say, there's so many different social media platforms. When I first started, like Instagram, wasn't a thing that you were advertising on.
Yeah, right.
TikTok wasn't a thing. The big thing was advertising on LinkedIn or whatever it might, LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever. But that's, you've just got to keep sticking with it. Things are going to, and I suppose it does go back to that AI thing of people are just going to want better information faster, and if you're able to offer that, then that's what's going to succeed.
Yeah.
And if as long as people are selling services or products or whatever it might be, there is going to be a need for advertising, and we've just got to try and stick with whatever those trends are, be on the forefront of it, and make sure that we're doing a really good job. That's what we're going to keep
Are
doing.
clients shifting more to TikTok advertising now as well, or not really?
They're bringing it up more, but every platform has a different
Reach.
it
And
has
customer base too.
it does, yeah.
So like
and
Facebook would work perfect for me in a local community.
that's
And Instagram.
That's
Where
right.
TikTok's more. I see TikTok more as an international point of view.
Yeah.
A national point of view. A different type of image.
That's right. And some platforms are going to work terrific for some brands and some businesses, or some industries, and for others they won't work at all. And as well as that, if you try and employ the same marketing strategy you have on Google or on Facebook, if you try and just say do that exact same thing, the videos you're posting on Instagram, if you just chuck them on TikTok as well, and with no research behind how TikTok demographics work and how each different platform has its own way of doing things. If you just put the same content across everything, you're going to just do average at everything. You have different content types that deliver to certain audiences that are on those. And it's the same way with, if you're on Google and you're making a search of something, you're actively out there searching for that thing. And so the content that you're providing that person needs to be tailored in that way, as opposed to someone on Instagram, they're on a train, they're at home, they're whatever they're doing, they're just mindlessly scrolling. You need to do something different to get their attention, because they're not, the same way that I know I keep going back to this example, but best restaurant in Sydney or whatever it might be, right?
Quiet dining.
You guys show up first there, but people have actively searched for that. If you're trying to get people through Facebook ads, the strategy needs to be different because they're not on Facebook to find a restaurant. They're on Facebook to see. Well,
So
now
you need
just
a hook almost.
So you need a reason to pull them in, and so you try to get to their empathetic side and see, well, what are they feeling right now? Like what so you can get in there by saying something about the reward behind going out and treating yourself to a really nice dinner experience based, and it's just going about it a different way. And people are on TikTok for a different reason. People are scrolling Instagram for a different reason. So it's just knowing what your consumer base is doing on those different platforms and then tailoring your strategy around that.
Yep. I agree.
Nice, yeah.
That's what I do as well.
Yeah.
Well, we try, we test and we try. We don't know what works. We just do a lot of things.
Yeah. And you'll never get it right, ever. It's
No.
always a work in progress.
No, you just got to
Always
keep
an update.
always.
Always an update.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can always keep on improving on.
Yeah, just being creative as well. I think that's the biggest point.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
the videos that
Agree.
we make, I would say 0.1% of mortgage brokers, if that, will make the content that I make on Instagram and Facebook.
And that's the thing. Creativity is key, and that's what'll always outweigh the machine learning, the AI, all that stuff. Is that we have free will. We can think. We can be creative, and that is always going to be needed.
Yeah.
When you're thinking about like the loudest kid in the room will stand up,
Yep.
and the loudest kid in the room will be on show.
Yep.
So if you're out there being normal, it's that typical saying like normal gets you nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many people out there.
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah,
That's
like,
fair.
there's
Yeah.
so many
Yeah.
people. There's so many people out there who are being normal.
Mm-hmm.
It's only going to get you so far. You will blend in like every other motherfucker out there.
Yep.
You will blend in. So normal gets you nowhere. It's time to stick your neck out and do something different.
That's it.
Get your personality there. And I think, if there is anyone out there who is exceptional at what they do, passionate, dedicated, who will use every hour of the day, in the pursuit of finding perfection or success, build your team. And I think this gentleman over here, it could be part of your team. SEO Premier.
Yep.
He has a great business, great clients, has a good story. And I think he can take any venture to the next level as long as you meet him halfway.
That's it. Yep. 100%.
Right at the borderline.
You like that?
That's where I'm going to wait
For you.
For you. Bit of Black Eyed Peas there.
That's
Black Eyed Peas to end the show.
Get him on the podcast. No, but honestly, mate, thank you so much for being a part of this
No
as
worries.
well.
Thanks for
this,
having me. It's
this
been awesome.
is something where we've stuck our neck out and
Yep.
now showing the world a personality and a different side to us and our services. So, mate, really appreciate your time, Stephen. Anything else that you wanted to add?
Nothing, mate. Thank
You're
you for
good.
coming on.
No worries.
No,
Thanks.
no,
Amazing
guys.
business that you're running.
Yeah.
SEO Premier, the premier in the industry of changing the direction of your business. If you need help, reach out. You've got an Instagram there, so it's as easy as that. It's SEO Premier. And, if, like I said before, if you want to take the next level, you got to have people around you willing to take it there with you.
That's it. Yeah.
Let's go
Thank you
hard,
very
people.
much.
Get it done.
Well said.
Thank you so much.
Till next
Too
time.
easy.